kitchen, and today I'm going to do a kitchen basics. I'm going to teach you how to make a Hungarian noodle dumpling called Nokedli. It's very similar to Spaetzle, but it's a little bit different, and I have a Spaetzle maker and I'm going to be using that, but I'm also going to show you how you can make it without a Spaetzle maker because it's really very easy. I made chicken paprikash on Sunday night because Micah had requested it for her birthday. Of course, her birthday was on Halloween, so I made it for Sunday night dinner instead. And the leftovers are reheating over here. So what you have with chicken paprikash, if you don't make elbow macaroni or egg noodles or something, is traditional Nokedli. And it's really, really super simple. Let me grab a wooden spoon. But the secret is to use bread flour instead of just all-purpose flour. Bread flour is definitely better. As I was saying before the phone started to ring, bread flour is better for these in particular because they help them get just a little puffy, and they've got a bit more gluten. So what we're going to do is I have 2 cups of bread flour in the bowl, and I'm going to put in a teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to give that a stir. Now, I have a pot of water on the stove that is coming to a simmer, and that has been heavily salted because these, you're going to have to derive the flavor for your Nokedli from the salted water. You don't want them to be bland. Okay? So these are really, really simple. We're going to use 2 eggs. Actually, we're going to use 4 eggs, pardon me. For every cup of flour, you're going to use 2 eggs. So I have 2 cups of flour.
You haven't left any eggs.
I am, but my eggs are ultra fresh. Poke your yolks. And I have a cup of water here. We're probably not going to use the whole thing, but I am going to add about a half of it right now just to get things moving. There's a fine line when it comes to making these little dumplings. When it comes to the dough, you're going to have to maybe give and take a little. If it's a little too dry, you're going to add more water. If it's a little too wet, you're going to add more flour. You'll know when the dough is ready when you lift up the spoon and it separates easily. Now, I can tell right now this is a little too wet, so I'm going to add a little more flour. Oh, there's already a scoop in there. We're close though. And this is a noodle that my Hungarian grandmother, my mum, would have traditionally made. This would be for goulash or any type of stew or soup that required a little noodle. And we're not there yet. It's still a little too wet. I would say I probably added a little less than a half a cup, maybe. That's good right there. Can you see how it's separating from the spoon easily? Just like that. Just like that. It's going to be like a very wet pizza dough, and that's the only other way I could probably describe it. So, I am going to show you how to use the Spaetzle maker first, and this is the Spaetzle maker. The water has not quite come to a simmer. I'm going to go ahead and turn it up, but we can get started anyway. Let me see. Oh, it's hot enough. But I'm going to turn the water up anyway. So I'm going to have Rick come over here to the stove. The Spaetzle maker has a little hook on the end, and that's where you put the edge of your pot, just like that. This comes out for easy cleanup. I bought this at my local restaurant supply store. These are available online. I paid about $10 for this. I may not use it every single day of my life, but when I do want to make quick noodles for something like this, it really takes no time at all with this and I'm happy to store it in a drawer for when I need it. So I like my gadgets, that's no secret. So what we'll do is we'll get a spoon. We'll fill this up sort of. And for those of you who are going, that's more trouble than it's worth, and you're wrong. You're just gonna slide this back and forth, and those noodles are gonna start to fall into the water. So your Nokedli is kind of shaping itself, or your Spaetzle. This is very similar to Spaetzle. In fact, there's very, very little difference between this and Spaetzle. So. Tap off the edge, grab yourself a spider, give it a stir, and then when they start to float, that's when they'll be done. Now, you can make these without the Spaetzle maker. And I'll just put this aside for a moment. Now, I'm going to show you what I know, and I think I may have to switch places with Rick. I'm going to do a little bit on the board here, okay? You're going to want to put a little bit of this dough. I have only seen my grandmother do this, so I get your knife wet, spread this out, okay, with the tip of your knife. These are going to be a little bit larger. So you're going to kind of flick it. As you can see, using this Spaetzle maker is a bit easier. These are going to be a little bit larger. You're going to want to spread it out again, and if you want, you can run your knife through it. And if you angle your board, I have a wooden board with a handle somewhere that would be perfect for this. My grandmother had a noodle board. I don't know whatever happened to it. I think my mother may actually have it. See here. And they're noodles. These are going to be little dumplings. There's no need for perfection, so don't strive. Just strive to make noodles. Because in the end, when you serve these, whoever you serve them to is going to love them, and they're going to be delicious. But that is how you would make the Nokedli without the Spaetzle maker. Just like that. And I like the Spaetzle maker more. So I'm going to go back to it.
It's easier.
I am. I'll just scrape this back into the bowl. Back in bowl, and I will trade places once again with Rick. So, give this a stir. And you're going to want these to cook, so don't be, upset that they're sticking in the water. And I'm going to use my fingers. So don't freak out. My hands are clean. I just washed them yesterday. Rick saw me. Mm-hmm. All right. And you just push back and forth until you have used up all the dough that's in your little hopper. And this is dishwasher safe. You see how much faster this goes? I'm sure there are a billion old Hungarian grandmothers out there and German grandmothers who are watching me going, oh my goodness, that girl. That's okay, I'm sorry. I will apologize in advance for my ineptitude.
what you always saying?
Work smarter, not harder. Unless you meant the botulism thing, and I don't see how that fits in here. Okay. You're done with that. So you can clean up your mess. And I've made one, trust me. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get out a colander, because when these are ready, they're ready. And they're going to be starchy. So what you want to do is you want to take them out of the water when they're cooked. And you're going to want to drain them. And you're going to want to rinse them. Now we're just waiting for them to float. Hey, you can see these have all floated to the top. So now all the noodles that were at the bottom are now at the top, and they're done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to drain them. Now, you look and notice that this is 2 cups of flour. And I've got cold water. Make sure you rinse in cold water, because any of the stew that you have is going to heat these noodles up anyway, so you'll be fine. But you don't want them to stick together, and you don't want them to be all starchy. So this is what you need to do. And I'm also going to give my pot a bit of a rinse. Just like that. Okay. Give it a bit of a shake. Back into the pot it goes. And then we add a little bit of oil to it so they don't stick together. So this is a little sunflower oil. This is exactly what they would use if we were in Hungary. That's sunflowers are one of their main exports, sunflower seed oil. And there you have it. So I will fix you a little bit of plate of a chicken paprikash with Nokedli so you can see what this looks like. Let's see. There we go. That's what the Nokedli looks like. It's delicious if you want to saute it in a little melted butter. It's really lovely that way as well. So, piece of chicken paprikash, some of that delicious sour cream paprika gravy. Dinner's ready. I think that looks awesome. Let's bring that over here. Let me wipe the plate there.
Smells great.
Oh. And the best part, I didn't really have to cook it. It's Wednesday night. I cooked dinner Sunday, and now we're having the leftovers. Yum. Let's see. Oh, for heaven's sake. There you go. Nokedli Hungarian style noodles, dumplings, Spaetzle, whatever you want to call it. You can make them at your house all by yourself. Super easy. You don't need a special tool. You can use a knife and a board. So, Nokedli. I hope you try it. I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya.